1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 354, Mariners at A's. Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1971-74 Summer Carryover League. We are back. Final series before the All-Star break. We have the Mariners and the A's in the American League West division. That's not much of a division, theoretically, because it's the Oakland A's and then a lot of chum in the water, as we like to say. But if you've been following this league this year, the Oakland A's have clearly sleepwalked through the season of this. Just a game or two above or below 500. Just playing uninspired baseball for a team that's supposed to be in their dynasty era. So let's just take a look and see what's happened. Game 1. Opening up in Sick Stadium. We are in 71 to 74, so we're somewhere in between the Pilots and the Mariners. Maybe this is the Seattle Skipjacks. They've imported some interesting names. They have 2/3 of the Alou brothers, Philippe and Matty. They stole Bill North away from the Oakland A's. So that's good. They stole Bob Locker. Actually, they lost Bob Locker to the Oakland A's. They have Joe Pepitone as a fan favorite. And they got Steve Klein. They got a great rotation to Seattle. Steve Klein, Dick Woodson, Fred Norman, Skip Lockwood, and Skip Pitlock in the bullpen. That's why we like to call them the Seattle Skippers or the Skipjacks. In Game 1, Oakland has to go to their number 4 starter. So the way the schedule fell, the number 4 starter this year, the Maytag repairman, the guy not named Vita Blue, Catfish Hunter, or Ken Holtzman, his name is Lynn McLaughlin. Last year, his name was Cal Kuntz. Interesting thing, both of those guys pitched in the Boston farm system. But Lynn McLaughlin gets the start for the A's against Steve Klein for the Mariners. Top of the second, you get a sac fly by Gene Tennis. Bottom of the second, after an error by Campaneris, where have I heard that before? John Ellis, 2-run homer. Then in the 4th inning, a sac fly by Chris Arnold. It's 3-1. In the 5th, the A's. Mike Hegan, Joe Rudy, back-to-back solo homers. But in the 5th, the Skipjacks come back with an RBI single by John Ellis. In the 7th, the A's tie the game. After a double single, you get a Joe Rudy sac fly. In the bottom of the 7th inning, here come these Skipjacks, Mariners, Pitlocks, whatever you want to call these guys. The Seattle Lockwoods, I don't know. A North single, Alou double, and his brother Matty knocks in the run after a caught stealing. The Mariners have a 1-run lead, but in the 8th, this is where this whole game gets a little bonkers. Steve Klein loses control, a walk, a 2-run homer by Tom Haller, who's quietly a nice little pickup. Tom Haller used to be a left-handed hitting catcher for the Dodgers with a little bit of power and a good eye for drawing walks. Perfect addition to this Oakland squad, much like they had Jim French a year ago, Washington Senator. 8-6 lead, 7-5 lead. This is a 7-5 game going into the bottom of the 9th, and they bring in Raleigh Fingers, who was having a terrible, awful, disgusting year. After an out, he walks a batter. Dick Green kicks a ground ball. Then single, single, single. Your Seattle Skipjacks, folks. Seattle Mariners, the Seattle Anchors, whatever you want to call them. They win Game 1, a fictional team versus the Dynasty A's. They win in what's remaining of Sick Stadium that hasn't been torn down. They have outhouses in the dugout in case you need to relieve yourself. It is an 8-7 victory for Seattle. Break up your Seattle Skipjacks, beating the Oaktown A's 8-7 in a Game 1. So let's see if they can keep it up. Game 2 in Seattle. It's Vita Blue versus Fred Norman. And already, finally, we see the mismatch as predicted. It was good in the first. A 2-out double by Joe Pepitone, 1-0. But the Oakland A's start knocking Freddie Norman around in the second inning. They bat around with a double walk, single walk, and a 3-run homer by Reggie. A 7-run second inning. Is that going to be enough for Vida Blue? Well, yeah, it is, actually. They don't do anything silly like bring in Raleigh Fingers in the 9th. They let Vida Blue finish this game. Complete game, 5 hits, a run in the first. And the game was pretty much over there. It was just kind of a boring affair. After that, Oakland does get a split on the road. It's hard to argue with that and say that's successful, even though your competition's kind of weak. A road split is always nice. Game 3 in Oakland. Now you've got Dick Woodson versus Catfish Hunter. And now the M's are starting to slide. And not in a good way here. It's not looking good now. The disparity in talent is showing, folks, in a big way. Here, second inning again, the A's get it going. A single, a double, and unfortunately, second and third one out. Dick Green hits a fly ball into center field, and Mariners center fielder Bill North drops the fly ball, helping the Oakland A's. Oh boy. Campaneris walk, a Joe Rudy single, it's 3-0. In the third inning, a single, 2 walks, a sac fly, and a single. It's 5-0. A 2-run homer by Sal Bando. You see where this is going, folks. It's an 8-1 victory for the Oakland A's. Catfish Hunter throws a complete game. Yeah, I mean, these games are routes, but they're leaving Blue and Hunter in to throw complete games, mostly to bring their ERAs down, which have been kind of inflated thus far in the season. Catfish Hunter, 9 innings, 6 hits, a run, 4 walks, and 4 Ks. Dick Woodson only got through 5 2/3. So, it's game 4. Can the Seattle Skipjacks, Pitlocks, Mariners, Drunkards, Black Eye, Lifeless Eye, whatever you want to call them. It's Steve Klein on short rest, you know, throwing the life raft out there, throwing the lifesaver out there. We're going to need a bigger boat to face these Oakland A's. Dealing against Ken Holtzman, the third Musketeer. And in this one, we have probably the best classic baseball game. In the fourth inning, no score, it's Tom Haller. Tom Haller, a little under-the-radar pickup, another left-handed bat. They don't have a lot of left-handed bats in Oakland. They got Reggie, they got Mike Hegan, they got Claudell Washington, they got Tom Haller. And Tom Haller, solo shot, 1-0. Fifth inning, Mike Hegan, another left-handed bat. RBI single, 2-zip. Then in the eighth inning, they finally finished Steve Klein off. A solo shot by Reggie. Klein had nice numbers, 7 1/3 innings, 5 hits, the 3 runs, 4 walks, 5 Ks. Kenny Holtzman's pulled after 8 with a 4-hit shutout, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. And why did they do that with a 3-run lead? To bring in Raleigh Fingers. Who else? To attempt to get a save. Because, folks, if Raleigh Fingers can't get saves, they're wasting their time, Oakland. I don't care if you have Vida Blue, Bob Gibson, Tom Seaver, and Jim Palmer in this rotation. If your closer can't save games, you ain't winning the World Series. So Raleigh Fingers is brought into the 9th with a 3-run lead. This is like an easy save for Raleigh Fingers. Something simple, something easy. Gives up a single to John Ellis. Gives up a double to Joe Pepitone. Ty runs Felipe Alou. A ground out RBI, it's 3-1. Jim LaFay, a ground out RBI, it's 3-2. Bases are empty, and then he strikes out Norm Miller to end the game. And yes, Raleigh Fingers, unfortunately, is credited with a save, with a 3-run lead. In an inning, he gives up 2 hits and 2 runs. He's given up, in 2 innings, 5 runs in the series, but these are the A's, and that's how they're going to do things. 3-1. We have a Game 5 here in Oakland, and it's still not looking good. For the Mariners, they are going to one of their skippers. They have 2. They have Skip Pitlock in the bullpen, but it's going to be Skip Lockwood for the Skippers starting today. He, in 71, was a Milwaukee Brewer, a.k.a. Seattle Pilot, but not really. 10-15 with a 3.33 ERA. And your Oaktown A's, on 3 days rest, are going to shoot Vida Blue out there, because they need to just put the rat traps out there. Kill the rat before it jumps off the boat. 24-8, 182, 312 innings. Your MVP of 1971. Dagger finish the Mariners. This is probably one of the biggest point spread betting lines in the league. If Oakland can't win this game at home, there is something seriously wrong with this set of cards. Maybe they're jinxed or something. They seriously have to finish off these Mariners 4-1. Let's get started from Oakland Alameda County Stadium. And oh, by the way, Bill North has done nothing against his would-be team to hurt the A's thus far. Let's see if he does something here. 2-4, Bill North does not. He grounds the third. Ron Woods, 2-4, flies to center. Joe Pepitone's now batting third, was batting fifth, trying to, he strikes out. That didn't work. Bottom of the first, it's Bert Campaneris. 55, short X. Shortstop today, Danny Thompson, a 3.36. That's a base hit. Campaneris is want to steal, and he is out stealing on a 16. He wants to steal because Reggie leads the club in stolen bases, has more than Bert, and Bert doesn't like that, and well, he just got caught stealing. Maybe, yeah. Mike Hegan, 3-6. Let's take a look at the Mike Hegan card of 1972. Was an Oakland A. He only had 79 at bats, but he hit 329 with it, and that's enough to give you this incredible card. They didn't have access to the Mike Epstein card. Yeah, so they had to settle for Mike Hegan instead of Mike Epstein for the Dynasty run, and, well, he's done pretty well. 3-6 is Homer 1-5, and he sneaks it over the wall in Oakland, and it's going to be 1-0. The Bill North caught stealing, the Campaneris caught stealing, cost him a run. Joe Rudy, 2-7 grounds to short, and with 2 outs, Reggie, 69, pops to third. John Ellis, 111, bounces to third. Norm Miller, a left-handed batter against Vida Blue, trying some more, switching things up, he strikes out. Philippe Alou, 56, he strikes out. Oh boy. Sal Bando, 43, first X. Pepitone, 2E15, that's going to be an error. First error off of Pepitone, I think, maybe in a long time, maybe all year. Tom Haller, 211, is a walk. He has been solid for the A's. Gene Tennis, 35, 6, 4, 3 double play. Runner at third, 2 outs for Claudel Washington, 43, right X. Your right fielder's pretty good defensively at 2E8. And he makes the catch. Stays 1-0 into the third. Danny Thompson, 410, third X. Bando's a 2E22. And he plays it into a single, and there goes your no-hitter off the Bando defense. Oh well. Jim LaFay, 67's a K. Chris Arnold, 36 is a walk. 2 on, 1 out for Bill North. 2-4 is a 6-4-3 double play. Now, some people are going to say, is North throwing this for the A's? Do they have some sort of agreement that he's going 0 for the series, made a defensive lapse, hitting us some double plays? Is he doing this to help out the Oakland A's? Is this a plan to get him on the A's in the future dynasty years? I don't know. I doubt it, folks. I think he's in so much pressure to produce for this young Seattle team, and it's just backfired. It's just a 1-0 game, though, in the bottom of the third. And it is Dick Green, 59, double 106, base hit. Bert Campaneris, 1-6, is a 6-4-3 double play. Skip Lockwood, getting some ground balls today. Mike Hegan, 38, single. Joe Rudy, 35, single dot. 2 out rally, runners on the corners for Reggie. 34, rounds the second base. We'll go to the fourth. It's 1-0, folks. We got a baseball game here. Ron Woods, 2-9, bounce to short. Joe Pepitone, 58 is a K. John Ellis, 110's a base hit. And Norm Miller, 311, pops to second base. If you're wondering why you don't actually see Seattle Pilot players from '69 here, well, they're in Milwaukee, the ones who are still around, such as Jerry McNerney was on that team. I think Tommy Harper's still on that team. I don't know if they actually made the trip from Seattle to Milwaukee. A lot of them didn't. But that's where a lot of your pilots are. Sal Bando, bottom of the fourth, 38, grounds the third. Tom Haller, 53, pitcher B. And Gene Tennis, 52, flies left. Go to the fifth. Nice game. Norm Miller, if you like pitching here. It's Felipe Alou, 1-8. 1-8, Felipe Alou, let's take a look at him. One of the three Alou brothers, they tried. I mean, they're trying to get seats in the stadium here to increase attendance after the disastrous '69 attendance fiasco with the high ticket prices. And they decided, let's go get the Alou brothers, Felipe, Matty, and Jesus. Well, maybe they should have gotten all three before they had that great idea, because one of the guys is missing, and that's Jesus Alou, and that's because he's on the Giants. J. Alou, Jesus Alou, whatever you want to call him. And the Giants said, no dice, we're going to hold on to him. But you can have the other guys. Felipe Alou, a .288 hitter and 469 at-bats, was a New York Yankee in 1971. Homer, 1-6 double. That's a two-base hit. Now you have Danny Thompson. 5'11", second X. Your second baseman is Dick Green at 2E12. That'll move the runner over. They're going to bring the infield up for Jim LaFay. 1-6, grounds a short, and with 2 outs, Chris Arnold, 38, is a K. Bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, bottom of the fifth. It'll be Claudel Washington. 1-8. Let's take a look at Claudel's card of 74. Had a nice little postseason for them. Hit .285. And then he spent most of the decade on other teams in the West. I think he was on Texas, he was on the White Sox, he was on Oakland. And he had a nice long career with a suitcase and playing all over baseball. 1-8 here is triple 1-13. That's a triple. They're going to bring the infield up for Dick Green. 3-12, and that's a Lomax. And you can only imagine that they caught Claudel Washington napping off of third base. 2 outs, it's Bert Campaneris. 1-12, foul out the catcher, plus an injury. And it gets worse for the A's. They do have a shortstop. They can bring Joe Foy off their bench to play short, where he is a 40-48, or did you want to put Dick Green over there? No, let's put him over there. 1-0 in the sixth for Vida Blue. He's got to pitch his way to victory today because his team is not helping him out. Looks like the A's are only a single batter ahead of the M's and 1 run. The difference being the solo shot of Hegan. Bill North, 3-6. Let's take a look at the Bill North card. We've been lamenting his disappointment. 287, 5 homers, and 650 plate appearances for the 73 Oakland A's. But against the A's today, 3-6, homer 1-10, it's gone! And Bill North has tied the game. Ron Woods, 6'12", pitcher. Joe Pepitone, 57 Ks. John Ellis, 2-6, base hit. Norm Miller, 1-6, short. We have a 1-1 tie, bottom of the sixth. A's offense has been clicking every game, really, of this series. Today, first time they've been shut down. It's been Skip Lockwood and some timely double plays, including a Lomax. 3 double plays in 5 frames will do it. Can they continue? It's Mike Hegan. 1-8 Ks. Joe Rudy. 1-6. Let's take a look at Joe Rudy's card. Arguably his best year within the dynasty was 72. He hit .305 with 19 home runs, sparkling defense in left field. Great clutch hitter. Had the game-winning hit against the Dodgers in that World Series, 74. Here in 1-6 is homer 1-3 double. It's going to be a 2-base hit. Reggie. 58 off of Lockwood, and they break through with a double 1-3 base hit, and the A's take a 2-1 lead. Reggie will steal, and he's going to be safe, and he increases his team lead in stolen bases over Bert Campaneris. Runner at second, 1 out for Sal Bando. 47 is a walk. Lockwood in trouble here on the ropes. 2-1, 1 out. Got to put those gloves up there. Got a little rope-a-dope going. It's Tom Haller. 2-4. Let's take a look at this card, folks. Tom Haller. Who? Well, he was a Dodger. He was a nice left-handed hitting catcher for the Dodgers, late 60s, early 70s, and Steve Yeager, Joe Ferguson came along, and they didn't need Tom Haller anymore. But in 71, he hit .267. He hit 5 home runs, drew some walks. You see he's got power against lefties and righties. Kind of symmetrical, has some walks. Perfect little player for the Oakland team to have. He doesn't have to catch. They do have Gene Tennis, so those guys can platoon or play DH. Get them both in the lineup. 2-4, double 108. That's a 2-base hit by Mr. Haller. That will score a run. It is second and third with 1 out in a 3-1 game. And it's Gene Tennis. They're going to have to bring the infield up. Pitch to Tennis. To 5, third. Runners will hold. And with 2 outs, it's Claudio Washington, who tripled his last time up. 37 is a strikeout. Actually, Claudio will also exit the game, as Angel Mengual will go take over in center field. 3-1 lead for Vida Blue. Is that enough? It probably should be. He had a 1.92 ERA. He doesn't give up a lot of homers on his card. And the Mariners have, one of the weaker offenses in the sport, as you can imagine. Into the 7th we go. It is Felipe Alou. 2-6, rounds the 3rd. Danny Thompson, 1-7, double 1-10 is a double. And your tie run is Jim LaFay. 2-6, grounds the 3rd. And with 2 outs, it is Chris Arnold. 4-4 off of Blue. Here it is, folks. Homer 1-5, fly ball the rest. And there it is. He rolls a 2 off of Vida Blue, and that's a 2-run homer by who? Chris Arnold, who was a Giant in 73, had 1 home run, and you just saw it. Off of a confused Vida Blue. That thing must have hit the pole or something. But the Mariners have tied the game at 3 here in the 7th. They have not given up the ship yet. It's Bill North, who homered last inning. 58 is a strikeout. Stretch time in Oakland of a good 3-3 game. I'm glad, folks, that you get to see the Mariners playing well against the A's, because those last 3 games, they stunk up the joint, but they're playing well today. We've been enjoying Shuggy Otis. Here comes Shuggy Otis, 1970 LP, session guitar player for a bunch of the greats. Shuggy's Boogie here, and we'll get back to the game. Bottom of the 7th. Skip Lockwood is a starter 7. Once you're taken off the hook for a loss, a lot of times you kind of like want to get him out of there, since you've got, and I think we're going to do it. We're going to hook him because he was on the game for a loss, and now he's not. So it's going to have to come down to the bullpen. They're going to go Skip Pitlock in the 7th. From Skip Lockwood to Skip Pitlock to the skipper and Gilligan. For the Mariners, the pilots, whatever you want to call these guys, can they hang on and get a win in the Coliseum? Skip Pitlock will take over in the 7th inning. He was a White Sox in 74 with a 4.42 ERA in 106 innings. Going to have to overachieve here, Skip. But you got Dick Green leading off. 1-9 is a walk. Back up top, Campaneris out with the injury. It's Joe Foy. 1-5, Joe Foy, double 1, single ... Runners on the corners. You have to bring it up for Mike Hegan. And the pitch to Hegan. 65, second X for the infield up. This is LaFay, a 3E14. He's a 3E14. And, well, infield up. So the runners hold. Actually, the runner from first goes to second. Second and third, 1 out. Joe Rudy, who's an A bunter. Have to bring it up for Joe Rudy. Pitch to Joe Rudy. The infield up. 65. Second X again. 3-14. Already configured to Jim LaFay. And it's an out again. Jim LaFay. 2 good handles on ground balls. You still have second and third with 2 outs. And it's Reggie. Lefty versus Pitlock. Let's take a look before we swing at your 1973 American League Most Valuable Player and World Series Champion, Reggie Jackson. 293, 32 homers. I told you he's leading the club in stolen bases, 76 walks, 28 doubles. He's all that. He's Reggie. And here is the pitch to Reggie Jackson. 37 is a K. Skip Pitlock. 2 guys reach, then he erases them. 3 outs. We go to the 8th. The 8th inning, it is a 3-3 tie. Vida Blue will continue. He's been kind of shaky the last couple innings, though he is a starter 9. And it's Ron Woods. 3-4, Ron out of the woods. Ground ball to third. Joe Pepitone. 4-10, third X. Bando, 2E22 makes the play. And with 2 outs, John Ellis. 1-9's a single. And with 2 outs, it's Norm Miller with the weather. 54 is center X. Claudel and his skillet glove is gone. Replaced by Mangual, who's slightly better. He's a 3-4 in center field. He makes the catch. We stay at a 3-3 tie in the bottom of the 8th. Bando, Haller's a lefty, and then 2 righties. We'll let Pitlock continue to see if he can get Haller out of there and face Sal Bando. 34, Bando skies the center. Tom Haller. Now, if you're the A's, you're thinking, this Pitlock guy's not any good. We could go Orlando Cepeda, but then they'll go to a better reliever like Jerry Bell or Diego Segui. Let Haller swing away here. He's had a big year, and he'll swing away against the lefty Pitlock. 54, third X. Third baseman is Chris Arnold, and he is a 40-37. He's a part-time player. And that's a single. So Haller is on. The only guy left on the bench is Cepeda. You have Tennis Mangual up next. Righty. We have had okay, Pitlock will leave after inning and a third. We're going to go to their closer, Diego Segui. The best, and you know, Diego Segui played for the Mariners late in the decade, and he may have actually played for the Pilots. I'm trying to recall if he did. He was a Cardinal in 73 with a 7-6 record, a 2.79 ERA. He was also an Oakland A pitcher. So he's all sorts of familiar with these 2 teams. Segui comes in with a runner at first and 1 out in a 3-3 tie in the 8th inning to face Gene Tennis. Haller, he's an 11 runner. He'll just stick around. There's not anybody on the bench. Gene Tennis, that injury to Campaneris hurt things a little bit. Gene Tennis, 2-9 is hit by the pitch. 2 on, 1 out, and it's Angel Mangual. 3-10, center. And with 2 outs, it'll be Dick Green. 62, flies to left field. We go to the 9th. Vida Blue. Starter 9. Starter 9s can go 10. Well, he's going at least 9. Felipe Alou leads it off. 68 is a K. Danny Thompson. 2-2. Fly ball center B plus injury. You lost a shortstop. You've got Jerry Devannon will come in and play shortstop for this injured player. And it's Jim LaFay. 3-10. Let's take a look at Jim LaFay. He also was a Dodger, teammate of Tom Haller in 71. 12 home runs and 388 at-bats with a 245 average. Nice little card for Jim LaFay. 310 off of Blue is triple. 1-15, double the rest. He misses the triple, though. Look at the 19. It's only a double. And with 2 outs, it's Chris Arnold. He is 1 for 2 with a walk and that kooky home run in the 7th inning off of Vida Blue. The pitch to Chris Arnold. 1-5, Chris Arnold! Homer! 1/18, double the rest, and he hits the 18 on a homer 1/18. Chris Arnold, who had 1 homer in 1973, has 2 in the last 3 innings. And the Seattle Skipjacks take a 5-3 lead off the stunned Vida Blue in the 9th inning, and the American League rejoices. Wow. If them M's can force us to a Game 6, this will be quite a thrill for the rest of the American League. Bill North, 3-6 again for the 2nd time. Homer 1-10, but he misses it. The long ball, the Seattle long ball. Solo shot there, 2-run shot there, and he missed one there. But it's 5-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Is there any defense to bring in? Brad Gilbreth can play third base for Chris Arnold, the hero of the game. Yeah, Gilbreth will come in to play third. Chris Arnold, the card's actually pretty good. It's funny, but it's a 296 card. 296 is 296, folks. That's a good card. And yeah, this is a pretty important game here if we can get this thing back to Seattle. 5-3. Bottom of the 9th. Diego Segui, the closer. Can he finish the job? Top of the lineup, but it won't be Campaneris. It'll be Joe Foy for the injured Campaneris leading off. 1-6 is a double. Now your tie run is Mike Egan. We saw his card earlier. He homered in the 1st inning. Pitch to Mike Egan. 2-7 is a base at the left field, and the runner holds at third. You got runners on the corners for Joe Rudy. Did we look at his card? Yeah, we did look at his card. Joe Rudy, runners on the corners. A bunter, got to bring it up because you got a runner at third for an A bunter. Diego Segui is a relief 3. He's no danger of breaking in this inning, and he's the best reliever they have. The pitch to Joe Rudy. 46 off Segui's a walk. The bases are loaded. Nobody out. This would be historic if the M's can win this thing. Bases loaded, nobody out. They have a 2-run lead. And you got Reggie. You got Bando, Haller, and Tennis. You need a double play or 2. Or, yeah, because you can't get 2 double plays in this inning, which you probably need 1. 2-run lead, they're going to play it back. You saw Reggie's card. Reggie today has a hit, a stolen base, and a strikeout in 4 trips. The pitch to Reggie Jackson. 6-11 off Segui's card is a strikeout. 1 down. Now here you need that double play out of Sal Bando. Let's take a look at his card before he swings. Teammate, of course, with the 73 A's. Bando, well, basically Reggie, 293 led the club. Bando was 3rd at 286. Somebody was in between. Bill North, I believe. Bando, 29 home runs and 82 walks and a 286 average in 1973. Bases loaded, 1 out, playing back. The pitch to Sal Bando. 47 off Segui's, another K. And with 2 outs, the A's are relying on this guy, Tom Haller, who has 2 home runs in this series already. Where would they be without this guy? The numbers, he hits 6th in this lineup, folks, ahead of Tennis and Claudel Washington. He is 2 for 3 plus a walk today. You saw the card earlier, the 2-2 card. Big at bat for the new kid in town, Tom Haller. And here is the pitch. 3-7, Tom Haller delivers a single to left field. Foy scores. Mike Hegan's going to run. See if you can tie it. It's a 14, 15, 16. 0 arm. It's 1-16 to tie. He scores and slides in on a 15. A 2-out single by Tom Haller, delivering again in the clutch for these Oakland A's. What a bizarre year for this team. All the star power, not doing much. Role players like Tom Haller and Mike Hegan and Joe Foy are delivering a very strange season. It's a 2-run single. Foy scores. Hegan scores. Rudy, he'll get the third if he's a 14 runner. He's not. He's a 13. He'll stay at second. First and second with 2 outs. In a 5-5 tie, it will be Gene Tennis. A walk doesn't really hurt the M's at this point. 3-11. Tennis grounds to short. Bonus baseball. The A's. They could send Vida Blue out there for the 10th. And I believe if you've got the 1971 American League Most Valuable Player available, you send him back out for the 10th inning, because this is your damn season. If you're trying, you're not going to be the #1 seed of the American League. You might have to play on the road in the playoffs because your season has been very mediocre. So Blue will continue into the 10th inning. There were no other changes. Cepeda's still on the bench for the A's, and Matty Alou is still on the bench for the Mariners. Gilbreth and Devannon are in there defensively. As we go into the 10th inning, it'll be Ron Woods leading off. 46 off of Blue is single 1-2-7, and he cannot get it. He rolls a 9. Joe Pepitone. 3-6. Let's take a look at the Joe Pepitone card. We told you he's one of the stars that the Mariners brought in. Former Yankee Cub. Fun guy. 71. Still had it. He's getting up there in age, folks, but he still had a fantastic 71 with the Cubs. 16 homers. A .307 average. This uncanny knack to be able to play both first base and center field. He's the full-time first baseman here. Homer, 1-13 double, and he rolls a 17 double. Boy, they're getting the blue today. My goodness, it's a lot of long flies. A missed homer by North in the 9th, and a missed Alou missed a homer there. And my goodness, folks, John Ellis with a lead run at second and 1 out. 2-9, bounces to short, and with 2 outs, it's Norm Miller. Got to take a look at this card. Normally, Norm Miller plays in a platoon just against righties, but as you can see, he's pretty darn good against lefties. Even though it's just a 2% chance, Strat-O-Matic gave him all the same stats he had against righties. A lot of times they won't do that. They did here. 98% against righties with 4 homers, 2% against lefties. But he's got similar power. And Blue gives up more homers to lefties. So here we go. Norm Miller with the lead run at second and 2 outs. 4-10 off of Blue is third X, Bando. He's a 2E22 when he makes the play. Don't have to change anything. He's a 2E22 third baseman, and a 4E37 makes the play. Blues day is done. He'll go to the showers. He'll watch the rest of the game on closed circuit TV. Bottom of the 10th, Diego Segui is a relief 3, and as the closer will pitch through his 3rd and final inning. It will be Angel Mangual leading off the bottom of the 10th of a 5-5 tie. 1-5, bounces to 3rd. Dick Green. 47 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Joe Foy. 46 is a walk. C. Steeler. John Ellis, a +2 arm catcher. You try it. Yeah, let's try a stolen base. We're in extra innings. The rules don't apply. Let's try a stolen base with 2 outs with a C. Steeler. And that's why it doesn't work. He just gets thrown out stealing, and you leave the .329 hitting Mike Hegan on the on-deck circle. Oh well. The M's survive another inning. 5-5. Oh, I gotta put Raleigh Fingers in there, don't I, folks? I got to. The mere idea of Raleigh Fingers losing another game is too interesting. So I got to bring in Raleigh Fingers, who's having a horrific year with an ERA above 10. ERA over 10. His ERA in 73 was 1.92. He's got a lot of work to do to bring it down to that respectability. 7-8, 1.82 ERA in 127 innings. He is a relief 3. Probably pitched the 11th, 12th, and 13th innings, if there are that many. The A's are strutting their talent over the M's in almost a move of desperation at this point. So in the 11th, Raleigh Fingers will face the number 6 hitter, Philippe Alou, who has a double today. 57 is a K. And I got Jerry Devanin, who came in for the injured Danny Thompson. 37 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Jim LaFay. 53, right X. Reggie's out there. He's still good defensively in this area. He's a 2E9 in right field, and he makes the grab. Oh, the M's might regret this inability to get that road win today. They can't finish this remarkable comeback. Bottom of the 11th. Segui is gone now. He has pitched a lot. 6, 7, 8, 9. In the 11th inning, we're going to go long with Jerry Bell. We have the guy, the M's, they have the guy for this assignment. His name is Jerry Bell. Not Gary Bell. Gary Bell pitched for the Pilots. This is Jerry Bell, who pitched for the Brewers, who were once the Pilots. Isn't that weird? Jerry Bell was 5-1 with a 1.65 ERA in 1972 in 71 innings, and is a pretty cool looking relief 4 starter 7. That's a heck of a good card. Relief 4 starter 7. He can pitch in through the night. In the 11th we go. Foy got caught stealing to end the 10th, so it'll be Mike Hegan leading off in the bottom of the 11th against Jerry Bell. 210 is a base hit. Now you got Joe Rudy. He has got a couple hits and a walk today. 43 off Bell is first X. Oh boy, a 2E15. He made an error earlier. Joe Pepitone. He could go from hero to goat here. 2E15. It is a ground ball A. And with 2 outs, it's Reggie. Can he walk this thing off? 4-5 off Jerry Bell. Skies to center field. We could be in here. Folks, you might want to get some C rations. The M's got, you know, it's a 3-hour tour, but the SS Minnow is in some rough waters here. This thing could go on forever here. We're going to the 12th inning. Jerry Bell and Raleigh Fingers. And it'll be Chris Arnold leading off. Not Chris Arnold, the guy who came in for Chris Arnold. Rod Gilbreth. Rod Gilbreth leading off here in the top of the 12th. 57's a K. Now you go back up top to Bill North. 211 rolls the pitcher. And with 2 outs, you go to Ron Woods, or do you take Ron Woods out and bring Matty Alou in? No, I'll let Ron Woods bat. Ron Woods. 1-5. Good move there. Let's take a look at Ron Woods. We let him hit away, and for good reason here. Ron Woods was an Expo in 71 at 297, folks. Nice little card. Nice little good defensive player, too. Even against a righty, 1-5 is double 1-6. It's a base hit. Now Joe Pepitone. Hit a double his last time up. The pitch to Joe Pepitone. 39 flies to right field. That's 2 innings in the book for Fingers. Bottom of the 12th. It is Sal Bando against Jerry Bell. 45 flies to right. Tom Haller, the star of the A's. 3 for 4. A big 2-out double there and a game-tying single in the 9th. Let's see what he has up his sleeve here in the 12th. 68 off Bell is a walk. A 1-out walk. It's Gene Tennis. 210 is a fly to left. And with 2 outs, it's Angel Miguel. 3-6 homer on a 1, fly ball the rest. And yeah, homer on a 1, fly ball the rest. Always hate to see those on cards. Very disappointing. Innings over. 2 solid innings so far for Jerry Bell. Fingers is a relief 3, starter 5. But we'll just have him go 3. We do have Bob Locker, Dave Hamilton, and Ron Taylor in the Oakland bullpen. We don't want to exhaust our closer. It's a long season. Into the 13th inning we go. It is John Ellis. 6'10", third X. Bando is at 2E22 at third base. He makes the play. Norm Miller, 69, center. And with 2 outs, Felipe Alou. 112, line out to third. Riley Fingers, what a comeback for him. Doesn't have much to show for it. 3 shutout innings, but after his previous debacles, the A's will take it. Into the bottom of the 13th. Jerry Bell also in his 3rd inning relief. He'll face Dick Green. 2-6, grounds the 3rd. Back up top to Joe Foy. 55, short X. The shortstop should be Devannon. And he's a 3E48. 3E48, but he makes the play. And with 2 outs, it's Mike Hegan. 57, short X again. He makes the play again. The 3/48 shortstop makes back-to-back web gems. Oh my goodness, folks. 3 shutout innings by Jerry Bell. And one of the wildest and craziest games between a mismatch of teams. The M's refuse to die, folks. They refuse to move this team away from Seattle. We're going to the 14th inning, and I'm getting Raleigh out of there. They've outlasted Raleigh Fingers. They've outlasted Vida Blue. In the 14th inning, let me go Dave Hamilton. Dave Hamilton. He was an Oakland A in 72. That means he got a ring. 6-6 with a 2.94 ERA and 101 innings. And he'll come in the 14th inning. And it should be Jerry Devannon in Chris Arnold's spot. The number 9 spot, since LaFay made the final out of the previous inning. Oh no, Devannon, I'm sorry. He's in Danny Thompson's spot. What am I talking about here? He's in Devannon's spot. Okay. Jerry Devannon in Danny Thompson's spot. To lead off in the top of the 14th. Jerry Devannon, the pitch. 3-11. Jerry Devannon, that's a double. Double to left center field. And he greets Hamilton, the tie run at second. Jim LaFay. You bunt here? No, he's a C bunter. That's too risky. You saw LaFay's card. You just have to get some breaks and get a run and get a hit here. Joe LaFay, 67. Jim LaFay, 6'11", is a strikeout. Now you got Gilbreth, who really hits lefties well. But, yeah. Rod Gilbreth. 49 off of Hamilton is a single to right field, but you got the arm to deal with now. The arm of Reggie. He's got a -5 arm, so with 1 out, I think Devannon will just be staying put at third base. Runners in the corners with 1 out, not tackling the -5 arm. It's Bill North. You got to bring the infield up. For Bill North, a great opportunity to put the dagger into the A's again. He did it in the 6th inning. He almost did it in the 9th. Trying to do it here. Bill North, the pitch. 2-8 with the infield up will give Seattle a lead. It's a single to left field. That will plate Devannon. To left field, Gilbreth. 15 runner. Does he go coast to coast with 1 out against the Joe Rudy arm? He does. And he's thrown out, trying to go first to third with 1 out off a weak Joe Rudy arm, which is +1. Oh, it's 0. Gilbreth was a good base runner. He's a 15. Normally I'm conservative with the base running and decided to go for it there to get a runner at third with 1 out, and it didn't work. So now you got 2 outs and a runner at first. Bill North might as well try a stolen base. He steals second. You got a runner at second with 2 outs, and it's Ron Woods. 6-11, left X. Joe Rudy's a 1E2. And that's the final out. Well, we have reached the bottom of the 14th inning. The M's, they had a 5-3 lead in the 9th. They have a 6-5 lead in the 14th. You have Rudy, Reggie, Bando, Haller. I got to go Jerry Bell. He's a relief 4. It's his breaking inning. By the time he theoretically breaks, he would have lost the game anyway. So he will continue in the bottom of the 14th. 3 shutout innings so far. Your MVP, Jerry Bell. He will face Joe Rudy with a 1-run lead in the bottom of the 14th. 33 pops to third. With 1 out, it's Reggie Jackson. 67 off of Bell is a walk. Do you steal here against the +2 arm of John Ellis? If you're Reggie Jackson, you certainly do. He's going to try a steal. And he steals on a 4. Reggie's in scoring position. Taking advantage of another one of the weaknesses of the M's. They have no catchers at all. 4-16 and a 4-16. So Reggie's at second with 1 out. It's Bando and then Tom Haller. The pitch to Sal Bando. 1-3 is a strikeout. And here it is, folks. It's on a tee again. Tom Haller. It's the Tom Haller day here in Oakland. The double RBI, the 2-run single. He drew a walk the last time. He's reached 1, 2, 3, 4. He's reached 5 out of 6 times. They're asking him for 1 more curtain call. With Reggie at second and 2 outs. The pitch to Tom Haller. 67 off of Jerry Bell's a walk. Tom Haller has reached 6 out of 7 times, and the A's still haven't won this game. And with 2 outs. Have we looked at Gene Tennis? Let's take a look. Gene Tennis, 1973. The 73 A's, the big 3 of Reggie, Bando, and Tennis had like the best cards. Tennis, 258 with 24 homers and 101 walks. A walk here would put Jerry Bell at his point of weakness, with the next batter being Angel Mangual. But he will pitch, Gene Tennis, against Jerry Bell with first and second and 2 outs in the bottom of the 14th inning. Here is the pitch. 3-5. That's a roller to shortstop. The Seattle Mariners have done it. They've taken me long into the night. In 14 innings, they win in Oakland. They'll send the series back to Seattle for a Game 6. I'm just going to pause this right now because I got to do a save the game before and undo the box. It's going to take some time. So we're going to pause it right here, and I'll be back in a few moments. Well, folks, here's the box score for the extra inning game. Anytime it goes extra innings, you just turn around with the space you have and fill up every available box, and then you have to go through each pitcher so you can score them properly. And that's what their color coding is. Blue, 10 innings, 11 hits, the 5 runs all off the homer. Raleigh Fingers, 3 innings, 1 hit. Story, though, Jerry Bell, 4 innings with the win, 1 hit, 3 walks, and a strikeout. Overall, Seattle 6 runs, 15 hits. A's 5 runs, 15 hits. But the A's had 9 walks to Seattle's 1. They put 24 men on base, only scored 5 times. This is an Oakland team that just can't quite figure out how to get on a roll and, reach dynasty level. And will they? That's a great question. Will they reach a dynasty level? Will it happen? It may not. It may not if they can't get this ship righted. So, with that, we go to Seattle for a Game 6. And it's a new kind of strategy that works big for the visiting Oakland A's. They have Lynn McLaughlin, the number 4 starter, asked to come on twice in this series, against Fred Norman. In this one, a nice start for the Mariners. RBI single by Felipe Alou in the first after a stolen base by Bill North. 1-0. In the 4th inning, Campaneris reaches on a fielder's choice, steals a base, scores an Orlando Cepeda single. It's 1-1. Then in the 6th inning, this is kind of a dagger inning here. Joe Foy walks. He steals second. a C-stealer, stealing off of the weak arm of John Ellis. Scores on a Campaneris single. Then Campaneris steals second base. Reggie strikes out. With one out, Campaneris attempts to steal third base, is successful, and that ball is also thrown into center field. Both throws, stolen base attempts by Foy and the one of Campaneris, sailed into the outfield, so Campaneris scores on the play. 2 unearned runs off the catcher's throwing arm. The aggressive Oakland A's, this is the weapon they have not chosen to use a lot, but they have power. They have on base with walks, they have batting average, oh yeah, they got some speed too. Foy, Campaneris, and Reggie batting first, second, and third, and they do the damage. In the 7th inning, it falls apart for Fred Norman. A single, double walk, and this is a 6-1 final. Interesting little tidbit. So McLaughlin goes 6 innings, and then he disappears. It is Dave Hamilton, a nice 7th inning, and Ron Taylor. Ron Taylor, who got himself a World Series ring for the New York Mets, decided to sign up for Oakland. Apparently he has a thing for World Series rings, with Bob Locker also in that bullpen. Ron Taylor got 2 innings with just a hit and a K. It is a 6-1 lead for Oakland. They do indeed win the series 4-2. I always say break up your such and such, but really, Oakland really struggled for a decent chunk of this series against the Mariners, winning it 4-2. Let's take a peek at some stats. So Hunter and Blue are 8-8. It is Kenny Holtzman carrying the team this year. He's 5-1. You're wondering about Raleigh Fingers? 14 1/3 innings, 13 earned runs. That is after throwing 3 shutout innings in the game you just saw. He's got an 8.18 ERA. It wasn't double digits. Now it's down to 8.18. Reggie, 9 homers, 29 RBIs in 31 games, 43 hits, 10 stolen bases. He's looking like your American League MVP, like his 73 card would suggest. Some other cards to note. We talked about Tom Haller in that game. He's 20 for 65 with 12 RBI in a part-time role. That's very good. Let's look at Seattle. Seattle's 10-16. They're hitting .241. They got a team ERA of 3.40. Oakland's got a team ERA of 3.71. Seattle. Steve Klein, Dick Woodson, Fred Norman, and Skip Lockwood. Not getting a lot of victories, but they're pitching solidly with an overmatched squad. Offensively, led by, well, Joe Pepitone, 29 for 103, 4 homers and 12 RBIs. Bill North's hitting around .220 with 13 stolen bases. It's what you could expect out of Seattle. It's just not working out. And when you look at the overall standings, what a shame for the rest of the American League. The Oakland A's just sit there in the American League West. They're only 3 over 500, playing .548 ball, but they got a 3.5 game lead at the All-Star break. Texas and the Angels still have to play, but yeah, just not much competition. And the A's clearly have played down to it this year. Thanks for checking this out. Oakland wins the series 4-2, and we'll see you next time.